Got it. Hello, YouTube. Good evening. We are here once again to talk, as usual. The moment of us to improve our English, to develop our communication, our connection with each other. And our topic today is about financial education. We have 11 questions to discuss, and I'm gonna start with the first one. And usually I like to do it like this. I start and then I choose someone and you can choose the person who's gonna answer after you, okay? So the question number one, are you able to save money? It is an open question, but I would say so. I always try to not spend much, to spend more than I earn. So I think that's the basic stuff to do. Sometimes, yeah, it can be tough because we have some needs or even it's we want to have fun sometimes to go to a bar to hang out with our friends. So I think it is you have to be really committed to the saving to actually don't spend more money than you plan, and you need to have a plan. So because if you just spend in that random way, it's so easy for you to not save your money. And in my opinion, it's something we have the necessity to do that in order to have a better future. So I can't say. Sometimes I'm not so so good at it, but I do my best, especially nowadays because I'm trying to move from my parents' house. So I think money is the first step for that. Yeah. And how about you, Gustavo?
Yeah, I like what you said about not spending more than you earn. I think that's the basic, and sometimes it's difficult to do that, and a lot of people don't do that. Yeah, I'm able to save money. I have some plans, so I need to do that for me to achieve this goal. And I kind of have some privilege because I live with my parents, so I need to pay some bills, but not so much. So a huge part of my salary came by me, so came for me, so I can save the money. It's not, I don't need to spend a lot in the pay month, my pay my salary. But yeah, like you said, sometimes it's hard to do that, and we always like to eat some good food, some experience, and sometimes it's hard. But I'm able to save money. Yes. And Marta, what about you?
Yeah, I try to save my money, but it's not possible every month because I have two kids. I have many, como é que fala, despesas? I don't know.
It's expenses.
Expenses. Yeah, things nowadays, the things are so expensive and it's difficult to save money. But I think the most important, as Sarah said, it's don't spend more you earn, I think.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I must imagine with kids, it must be really hard to save because we have medical counts and things like that to worry about. Yeah, that's a good point. Thank you, Marta. And you, Breno?
All right. Of course, I can save money, and I think the best way is don't uh, uh, buying too much stuff or don't have more expenses that you can afford. So this is my trick that I normally use to save some money. And yeah, I've learned it to save money since I was like 21 years old. I'm not expert on it. I don't put any money like in any program like like I don't like cryptomoedas or something like that. Cryptocurrency or nothing like that. I don't believe on it. But I try just to not have more expenses that I can pay for it.
Are you, do you live in Canada, right? You mentioned that. Do you have kids or maybe someone you are responsible for? Or it's just you?
No, I'm married.
Oh, okay. So you have to split the bills with your wife and organize everything together.
Yes.
I see it. Thank you, Breno. And how about you, Eto? Are you able to save money?
Actually, no. My default status is always spend more than I earn. So, and I think the kids and save money doesn't fit in the same sentence because everyone's so hard to keep them happy. You have to buy a lot of things, a lot of food to them. Uh, Sometimes I could save a little of money, but when something happens in my life, for example, when some relatives die or get sick, I always think, well, if I die tomorrow, I will spend all of my money. So I think I will never can be able to save the money. And the usual.
I was thinking here about what you say, Heitor. And sometimes I think I'm so disciplined person about money. I save money because I start living alone when I was 18. So I try to have a money to use in emergency cases, health problems, and if I stay for a long time without job, and I always put in some categories, and I save money for my goals. And I always try to do that. I don't like to buy things in, I think it's installments. When you pay month after month, I don't know, I think it's installments. Yeah. So because that, I'm a very controlled person.
Yeah, you have to teach us something because I think it is.
But if I die tomorrow, probably I will be very sad in other life because, I will spend so much money and I didn't have time to use or enjoy some aspects of my life. It's complicated.
Yeah. It's you have to find the balance, right? To not spend everything, but also manage to have some fun with your family and have a good time. There is this show called Cheapskate that is about people who do everything to save money. I don't know if you heard about this show. Like they turn off the TV at night, or there was a woman who used to some equipments at night, so according to her it was less expensive. And I was like, oh my god, I don't know how they can have kids, because like Heitor mentioned, having kids doesn't match saving money in some cases, so I think it is. Yeah, I like with what you said, Ju. Thank you for sharing. And let's go to the next question. I think the second question is a little similar to the first one, so let's skip this. Okay, question number 4. What is financial education for you? Let's go with Martha. What do you think?
I think, let me think about, how can I say in English? It's education for don't spend too much money. Save your money for the future and for your education. I think it's that.
Yeah, thinking about the future is the first step to have a more calmer life, a better future. I'm with you, this one. Can you choose someone to answer the question?
Gustavo.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, I agree with Marta. I think financial education, as you know how much you earn and you can control it, not to be crazy and spend a lot of money and don't think about the future. Maybe with financial education, you can think about your retirement time, not depend of the government or something like that, because we are in bad situation right now in this case. Uh, but I think the is to you control your expenses. Uh, mm, yeah, I think basics that. Yeah, I think that you can control how much you earn, how much you expend, uh, and you can uh, make some plans and work with that with the money, not just throw put things out and oh, one day gonna happen. If it's not gonna happen, yeah, it's not for me. So I think that's it. And for you,
Sorry, I want to say it's important to speak with our children about money, because they must know how much are things. It's not easy to earn money, and everything is expensive. We pay for everything. They must know that.
and there's the thing: if you not pay with the money, you're paying with time. So you're paying with something.
Yes.
And you, what about you?
For me, financial education, it's know about how to invest the money and how use it in a responsible and conscious way. So when you have kids, it's so difficult to save money. When you face some health problem and unexpected events in your life, is difficult. I know that, but you you need to try balance and think about our future goals and try to save money to do that. Can be a small plan or a big plan. I think it depends just on us to decide it, but use money consciously. I think it's can define financial education. And I think the next Heitor, maybe.
Okay.
How do you think about?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think financial education is something relation with the future, when you have to think maybe you will have some bad issues to deal with. For example, if you get unemployed, or if you have some health problems, you must to have some money saved. But I think it's a little hard, actually, just for me, to think that if in one off side I able to buy some things than I had in condition to have when I was a kid or a teenage. In another side, I have to think maybe in a future, I don't know, if I have some problem in the future, let me refresh my thoughts. I don't have any money saved for that. And when Marta say about the kids, we have to teach our kids the value of money. it's another thing hard to me because I want to give everything to my son that I didn't have. So when I start to think, okay, I won't do that give that for her, for his, I think, well, but when I was a child, I want so much to have this. Why not buy for his? Unfortunately, it's a hard way to think. Give everything to him or let them learn about the value of money. It's a hard decision. And for you, Breno?
Yeah, he had to leave, but yeah, I think I know what you mean. Like, spending money, it's not only a matter of being doing the basic, but it also depends on your background. Like you mentioned, if you had a hard childhood, it can affect the way you spend your money, the way you see it. Like something that is necessary to me can, maybe it's not so necessary to Gustavo, and so on, so it is some things that changes depending on each person. And yeah, I think you guys, everyone brought something really interesting about financial education. And I agree with the concept that it's knowing the value of money and being able to plan for the future, not doing anything crazy, but knowing where your money is, not only today, but for the next months as well. And I think at schools, maybe today they are teaching something like that. Some schools, they have this initiative, and I think it is really something that will improve the future for our country. I hope so, because today it's really hard to deal with money, especially with the layoffs that have been happening with the companies, startups, and situations like that. A lot of people are getting unemployed, and they should be able, like you mentioned, to be prepared for the future and to not start or facing some difficult situations, because they don't have any money. So guys, let's move to the next question. Okay, question number 5. Gustavo, I would like you to read this question, and you can start by answering, okay?
Yes. Do you agree that we should have financial education at school? Why or why not? I agree. I think that's an important topic because I I think that if you see like now in the background, like we are already out of school, uh, I noticed that they teach us in the school, in the college, depends of you, for financial college is different, but for my area, IT as well, they teach us how to earn money, but not how to save money, how not to invest money. And I think that's an important topic to learn in really soon because it's gonna be a habit for you and it's gonna be easy for you to do that because I think when it's something becomes a habit for you, uh, it's gonna be easy. You're gonna when you don't do that in the moment, you're gonna say, oh, there's something bad, there's something wrong that I don't do that. And so I think that's important. But I think not just financial education, at least as well nutrition, education about food, about what you can eat, what you cannot eat. So maybe they can make other materials with that, with important stuff that happen in our day life, like retirement, what you're gonna do, how you're gonna retirement, some important stuff that happen when we become an adult. So yeah, I agree. And about you, Heitor?
I agree with you, Gustav. I think the financial education must be a subject on the schools for the kids, but I don't know if something hard to think when you are a child, maybe when you are a teenage, it's something more easy to think about. When you are a child, you just want all the things, for example, all the toys and every food that you like to eat. So it's hard to tell a kid why you could buy this thing. So I think when you are a teenage, it's more easily to explain why they have to save money and think in the future. But it's too complicated. Some teenagers are so, I don't know how to say, but I will say they are so dumb because they don't like to think in the future. They think then just have tomorrow, and it's hard to explain. Then they have, well, I was a dumb teenager, so maybe the oldest say to me, study a lot and think in your future, and just think, I want to go to the party, I want to get a new car to go to the parties. So it's hard to explain thinking about the future. And you, Marta?
I think it's very important to have a financial education at school. I disagree with you because I think how young the child are, it's easy to understand about money. I have two kids. My oldest son is 10 years old, and when my uncle give money for him, he saved the money. He doesn't like to spend everything. But my daughter, she is 6 years old. She likes to spend a lot because I think she's younger. She doesn't understand the valor. I don't know how to say valor in English. Valor do dinheiro. So
Yeah, you can say, oh, go ahead.
Please help me.
Value. I will
Value.
write.
Yes, and I think I never won money from my parents, so I think I learned because it's not easy to earn the money. I want to educate my children like this. They must make their own money, I think, with work and studies. I think like this.
Yeah, and Heitor, you can teach your son how to not be dumb, how to not be a dumb teenager. So you have
I will try. I will
chance.
try teach them English and how to enter in the IT market and start a career abroad.
So you are saving them a lot of problems in the future with this type of knowledge,
Yeah, that's right.
Thank you, guys. And usual, do you agree with the opinions?
Yes, I think it's very important to teach kids early about the value of money, but not just at school. I think school should give some exercise how some kids receive some allowance, I think, mesada, for their parents. So try to stimulate the kids to have some goal. I want to have some toy, expense toy in the future, maybe in Christmas. So you need to save money, part of your allowance in order to have it. Or I heard an interesting case from a teacher. Since he was young, their parents every month share all the expenses with the family and show them how cost food, electric energy, and all the expenses. So the kids start to know since they are, I don't know, the age I don't remember, but it's very early, the value of the money. And this example, it's very interesting because it's something easy to do at home. It's easy to try to stimulate at school. It's a exercise for the family. I think a small exercise can teach a lot how to deal with money. And
Yeah.
I don't have kid, but if I have, I would try this kind of techniques in my home.
Yeah, I'm sure that is effective. I do something like that with my dad. Like I'm responsible for doing his bills to do all the math, and I'm always so impressed with the amount of money that is so easy to spend. Like with the nothing special, nothing fancy, but anyway we have a lot of bills to pay and to manage. So I think it is a great exercise that you mentioned, Joe, because once you face this reality, you can't forget. You think twice before just asking for something or even spending your own money in a responsible way. So I agree with you. And yeah, I mentioned about I do believe it is important. So I'll go to the next question so I won't be repeating myself, okay? I would like to ask from you guys, question number 7. Let's talk about credit cards, the horror of credit cards. That can be a trick situation for us, a trap actually, if you don't know how to use it right. Do you have a credit card? And what do you think are the main pros and cons about having one? Heitor, let's go with you.
Yeah, unfortunately, I have. Um, in my opinion, the pros is for emergency situations. For example, if your car broken or if you have some health problem, you can spend by the. Let me refresh. Today it's a hard day to speak in English. Sorry, but you can fix the problem with your credit card and make it with a lot of installments. So I think it's a pro. And cons, well, you make buy something you don't need it to, and a lot of installments either. And sometimes you just join the installments, you have a huge bill to pay. So I think that's the principal cons about to have a credit card. And you, Gustavo?
I think the main pro is kinda that you can buy something and pay in the future. Kind of you borrow the money, but not you borrow the money for the bank, but you pay that in the future. So I don't need to have the money right now, but I can buy something that I will have the money in the future next month, or I split the price of this stuff. And the bad thing is like if you not have a control, it's easy for you to go into snowball and go in the red a lot. I remember that I had a colleague, my first work, and she always said that we kind of earned like 1,000 reais, something like that. And she always get in the bank to get the money, and she get like 1,200. So this 200 is the links that the bank always show that in the total amount that you have this, but it's not yours. The bank is uh, renting to you, and she always was in the red flag with a lot of I don't know dívidas. I don't remember the name of that in English, but she always bought a lot of stuff and didn't have the money to pay and not control it. So if you don't have a control, it's gonna be a snowball and you're gonna be in the bad situation. And about you, Marta.
Yes, I have a credit card, and I think it's difficult to control minhas despesas, pros. I think it's good because you can pay in the future, but if you don't have control, you will lost. I think it's difficult. And a good thing is you can divide many times your sua compra. How can I say sua compra?
You can say your purchase. Purchase.
Okay.
Purchase.
Could you write, please, this word?
Yeah, I wrote here. It is purchase.
Oh, I didn't see.
Okay.
Okay, purchase. Yeah, you can pay in 5, 6 times if you want. I think it's good. Without juros. How can I say juros? Juros?
You got me.
Tax? I don't know, tax?
Yeah, I think so.
Tax?
Tax. Tax.
A tax, yes.
Tax.
Tax. Thank you.
We are learning some words today. Yeah, and usual. Do you have a credit card? Credit card?
Yes, I have. I have just to pay some basic bills like Netflix that it's necessary to have a credit card. So it's like mandatory. I don't know if nowadays it's possible use another kind of payment with them, but it's an example. But I'm very, very controlled about it. I know how can I use every month, and I try to have my bills under control. And I think the main problem of credit card is the illusion of having money, because usually the bank give us a high limit, and most people think, okay, I have this money, but it's not your money, it's the bank money, and they try to stimulate us to using or to receive some fees and interests. So it's a problem, and some people start to use a lot, and sometimes it's not possible to pay, and it's a huge problem for people in general. But if you have control and use a lot and you are able to pay it every month, I think the main advantage of credit card is to accumulate points, and some people used to receive some discounts in some kind of services and other things. And nowadays you have the cashback too. That's a way to have some return in order to use credit card. But I don't recommend try to use this kind of benefits if you are not very controlled about your money.
Yeah, you're right. Gustavo mentioned something about this friend who spends a lot of money, more than she earns. And I was thinking about my own friend. He showed me his bills, and I was like, how are you going to pay that? And he was like, oh, I'm gonna find a way. Like, what way? You only have one way, that is to work, And I could never. I think credit card can be really tricky with us. And I have one, but I've never delayed anything because I'm afraid of the fees and afraid of getting my name in the system, of the people who don't pay. And yeah, prefer to. I think it is good because it makes something more accessible, like computers and things are more expensive. But for example, you shouldn't use to buy food and things that you have to buy every month, because it can turn into a snowball, like Gustavo mentioned. And I think it is about the way you use it. It's not extra money. You have to pay it anyway. So yeah, it is important to have control of it.
And
And
Sarah, I was
well,
listening you and remember something.
okay.
Remember when we don't have a credit card and we're gonna buy something in the Casa Bahia, I don't know, in this market stuff, and you don't have you're 18 years old, so you need to borrow the name of your friend or your mom, your father to buy something. So with the credit card, don't need to do that anymore. But
Yeah,
before, you need, oh yeah, my dad bought something here, so they have the name, so I came bought something in the name of him. So right now we don't do that anymore with the credit card. The
yeah.
debt's from the bank. So yeah.
Yeah. It takes a lot of confidence, of trust to do that, because nowadays borrowing money, it's something really risky to do, because the person can be someone who isn't gonna pay you or have some problems, and it's gonna be your problem. And speaking of that, how do you guys feel about lending money to do something like that, like Gustavo mentioned? Do you like to have this habit still? What about you, Marta? Do you have the habit of lending money to others? Oh, someone asks you for money, and do you give, or do you prefer not to do it?
Lend is the same of borrow.
Yeah, like borrow is when you take from someone, and lend is when you give to someone.
Okay. It depends of the person. If my mom asks me to lend money, I will. But if I don't know the person, I think I don't. But I have an uncle who she asked me to borrow 500 reais, and I said this month I can't, but next year I will borrow you. I told my uncle.
God, 5,000? I would end the friendship.
I'm sorry,
because
400.
I was thinking you're rich.
No. No, I'm not rich.
To
I
have this
said
amount of
wrong.
money. Okay, no worries. And how about you, Eito? Do you usually lend some money?
Not lending. For my mother and my sister, I always give to them. I think money, cars, and partners we never lend to anyone. So, and tools. My tools I never lend to the others. But money it's a hard thing, because I keep thinking, well, if you ask me some money now, what's the guarantee then you can give me back? Because it's more exactly than it's more sure maybe you won't give me back the money and I have to forgive you. So I try to not lend money for the others. But just for my mother, maybe I just give to them, to her.
Yeah, I think it is a great strategy, not just give, and you're gonna save a lot of concernings for yourself, you know.
Yeah, avoid fights.
Exactly. Family fights are never good. And usual, what do you think about lending or borrowing money?
I avoid to lend money. And people that know me, they know that I'm a very controlled person. If they need, of course, I lend, but I charge interest monthly. And I have a spreadsheet with the, I don't know how to say calculus. And I remember then every month that they need to pay me. So people don't like to ask me for money, just in the last case.
If you work with sales, it can be really useful to be that good at asking for your money back, you know?
But I have to confess, in the past, I lent my credit card. A friend of mine asked me to use my credit card in order to buy something. I don't remember what. And I face problems because people just use your credit card and days after they just forget. And
Yeah, so you,
at the end of the month, I received the bill and oh my God, it's terrible. I faced some problems in the past because that.
you learned your lesson. Now you just pay attention to everything.
Yes, now I'm a boring person because that.
Good one. You are completely right. And how about investments? Let's go to question number 9. I don't know the first thing about investing. I searched in the past, but now I'm really, I don't have enough information to invest, so I don't do it. But I think it's something that I want to do in the future. And yeah, I think we have a lot of content on the internet about the subject, and it is important to be more aware of the possibilities we have with our money, you know. But I don't have much to say about this one. Gustavo, do you invest in something?
Yeah, I do forget about me the last one. I'm gonna answer short the last
Oh,
question.
really?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
don't worry. And yeah, I normally avoid is that as well. Just my family, but I will always ask about why you're gonna ask me for money. What are you gonna do with this money? Independent of the value. Uh, Another thing that we need to know that sometimes not lend the money for someone. You are a donation because the people not gonna pay you. So that's a big problem. So about investment, I invest in some, I don't know how to say that in English, but oh my gosh, não é renda variável, renda fixa. Yeah, renda fixa. I don't know how to say that in English. Uh, but I started 5 years ago investment. I put some money there and I wait. There's some money yet there, but I noticed that it's something that you need to have time. So it's difficult for you to follow. So I had the money there, but yeah, I'm not putting that every month or trying to search another investment because you need to have time to do that. And about usual.
I invest just in, I think, fixed income. I'm very conservative person about money. I'm not like to take some risks, like investing, I think, stocks, ações. I don't know how to say in English. So I just put money in direct treasury, CDBs, and private pension. I don't know if I can say that, previdência privada. I think it's very important to invest in this kind of thing because I don't know if in the future I will receive some help of the government. So I think now I complete 10 years investing in private pension. So maybe I will have a good retirement. I don't know. I wish, but it's necessary to invest a lot of money in order to receive enough money in the future. So I learned it over the years. It's a challenge.
Do you work with finances? Just I'm curious about this.
I always work with financial.
Oh.
So in the past, I work with accounts payable, treasurers, and these kind of things. And nowadays, I'm work with IT, but relate to financial fields.
Oh, all makes sense now that you are so organized with the money. Good for you. And you can teach us later, okay? Thank you, Ju. And you, Marta, do you invest?
I put some money in 5 years ago, I put some money in Tesouro Direto, but nowadays I can't save too much money, so I don't invest anymore. I forgot this money, but there is in Tesouro Direto, and when I need, I think I will pegar de volta. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe you can talk with you. She will learn. She will teach you how to how to invest.
I'm not a specialist. I would
Oh my
like to be
gosh.
maybe one day. I have
Yeah.
I know just the basic.
Okay, I got it. Thank you, girls. And you, Edu.
I tried once to invest in direct treasury, but unfortunately, I have to take off the money because I have a chance to buy a new house, and I just have this investment and I lose a lot of money. So unfortunately, that's the only money that I have to complete all the value of the house. So I have to take off money. But I agree with Juliana said, it's very important because I don't have any hope to retirement in Brazil. So maybe with 17 years, can you imagine you worked until the 70th? So it's pretty hard. Or maybe you can move on another country, and maybe there is a different rules for a retirement. But I have to start to invest again because I have to thank my son and my oldest. So yeah, maybe Juliana can teach us someday about that.
Yeah. Just we're gonna schedule a class, okay? And guys, I wanted to say something. Oh, I'm gonna post here the link to survey, but you don't have to click now. It's just so I don't forget, okay? The survey is for the feedback, but you can wait for the after the meeting to answer. And I want to know about your plans, since Heitor mentioned buying a house and something for the future. Do you have something that you want to buy, like next year or maybe 5 or 10 years from now? How about you, Gustavo? Do you have something?
Buying like object, not. I don't think anything right now. But I thinking working other country and living other place. So I'm gonna spend a lot of money with that, and I hope earn a lot as well.
The best part.
Yeah, and travel a lot.
Okay. It is interesting because money buys experiences, not only objects. So we have to see it like this. Because if you only see like objects that will get old and useless, we won't spend anything, you know? So we have to think about future experiences, trying something new. It is important as well. And you, Martha, do you want to do something or maybe buy it?
Yes, I really want to travel to France with my family next year, and I hope to find a good ticket, a good price to travel. And I hope to have money to pay.
Do you participate in the immersions here? We have French immersions here on Talk and Talk.
Which one?
French immersions, just like this one, but in French.
No, I don't want to speak French. It's because I have friends that are living there in France.
Okay, so you can learn just enough to travel and communicate.
Yes, it's a good
Not a
idea.
lot.
Yes. Thank
Just a
you.
suggestion for you. No, you're welcome. And you, Heitor, besides your house, is there something you'd like to buy or do?
Actually, for be real, I think in the first time of my life, I plan my next year, at least in my professional life. So I subscribe on TNT and about a lot of course for based on my work subjects. And I design like a calendar. I don't know how to say, like a project for the next year, how many days I will study something, when I start another thing. And I think it's a good way to see your evolve. So yeah, but I already bought a lot of things to complete these years.
You have to send me this file because I'm trying to do the same thing, like organize my study time, my goals in the paper or with apps, but I'm failing at this task because I'm bad. I think I'm bad at planning. I like
Sure,
to do,
I share with
but you
you
have to plan.
I found a Gantt project. It's something in Excel. It's a very exciting when you can put your objectives there and you can plan that. It's a good thing.
Thanks for the tip, by the way. And you, Ju, do you wanna buy something?
Not. I don't like to buy so many things. I like the concept of minimalism. So I like to invest in experience education. Probably I have some ideas about course that I would like to do in the next months. And I would like to go to Europe. It's a plan. I don't know if in the next year or in 2024, in 2 years. And I'd like to return to Canada too. It's my biggest goals now.
Yeah. Canada is a hit, right? A lot
Yeah.
of people from here are always talking about this country. It must be amazing indeed.
It's a beautiful, beautiful country, in my opinion.
Yeah, it seems to be great for Brazilians as well. So maybe it can be a good opportunity for everyone who wants to try a different place to live and work.
Yes, I don't think about to live there because I'm went there in the past, but I would like to return just to visit, just to know places that I didn't